everybody, I'm Danny Otto. Welcome into an all-new episode of That Recap Show. Now, before we get into the episode, just wanted to issue major spoiler alert. We are going to be going over everything that happened in the finale of the Penguin series. So if you haven't watched that episode yet, you may want to pause this video, head over to Max, check out that finale, and then come back and enjoy the breakdown. Now, with that out of the way, let's start the show.
Poppin' Off presents That Recap Show.
All right, join with me to break down everything from the finale of the Penguin series. It's Jon Jon Rico.
Hey.
Hey.
What's up? Yeah.
That's what's up.
I've been thinking about this episode all morning. I was telling you.
Can we all just take like a collective breath? Holy shit.
Yeah, man. Wild stuff. Amazing.
Oh man, we're gonna get into everything, but damn, man, holy shit!
Yeah,
this was. I mean, this was the finale that I think we were all expecting. Like, I mean,
oh yeah, it wrapped itself up in I would say a beautiful way, but it was a beautifully dark way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The series itself is absolutely incredible. Could not recommend it enough. But it is so dark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Every time you go, well, it can't get any darker than that. Holy shit, it does. And it shows us it can.
Yeah.
Very easily. That leads perfectly into my, instant reactions. And it actually reminded me while I was watching it, I did audibly say, holy shit, a couple times. And I told you I did. And then I will get into one of the big moments I said, holy shit, during in my takeaways. But there were some interviews that Colin Farrell had done, and they were getting, released or at least aired, during the series, like as it was going and stuff like that. Not that there were spoilers in it, but just
the press junkets and all that.
Right. But at least they were making the rounds during the series, and I forget what question actually teed up this particular, part of his answer, but it was,
I would be surprised if anyone liked him by the end of 8.
During the events of the finale episode, I was just like, that was just playing on a loop in my head going, with like Colin Farrell going, I'd be shocked if anyone liked him after this.
Yeah. I hate him.
Well, because that's the correct response. That's what they want.
They achieved it. I hate him.
Oh, man. So does his mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
But damn, man, there was so much in this episode. I was telling you, I didn't pause. I didn't, I didn't look to see how much time I had left. I was just like, oh my God. as this entire finale was going. Yeah. I was like, holy shit. But Rico, what were some of your instant reactions before, we get into absolutely everything in the finale episode?
It's very rare, I feel like, for a show as good as this to be like, each episode that we feel like they just keep topping each other, I feel like. This was one of my favorite episodes just because of how much, we got a lot of great story. The way the story wrapped up was, really well written, even if it was extremely like harrowing and dark. But that's one of the things I've always really liked about this series, that it's never shied away from really like going there. When it comes to like the really dark material, like every time we think like, well, yeah, like you said, like surely they're not gonna like show us that what's happening, right? Like, oh no, we're gonna show you it, and we're gonna make it even more gruesome that you probably expected it to be. So they technically like double down on all the stuff all the time, which is why it gets the reactions that it does.
Right.
But man, I can't think of any of the main characters as far as whether it's Vic, Sophia, Francis, or Oz himself that isn't worthy of like an Emmy nomination, or at least the award itself. Because everybody is just incredible, especially in this episode. Like everyone gets their chance to really shine here. And it's really great. It also does a great job of just tying stuff again to the overall Batman world too, which is awesome. But Deirdre O'Connell as Frances Cobb to me is like the standout of the show for me, which is saying a lot considering how great someone like Colin Farrell is as Oz. Like he's doing amazing work on his own, and the fact that he's not the best part of the show really says a lot about the acting of the series. Yeah, that the opening scene, the opening scenes with the club, with her and young Oz. First of all, the kid who plays young Oz is also incredible.
Oh,
Just the way
yeah.
that he gets the cadences down of what Colin Farrell's Penguin does. Just absolutely crazy. But the present day scene in the club, it just gave me chills the way that she just kind of lays into him. Finally, it lets out all the honesty that she's been like holding on all these years. And it's just it's a total gut punch of a scene to watch. And again, it's that one thing where they do a great job of making you sympathize with Oz for a little bit because of the way he's again his performance in the scene, but then they immediately pull the rug out from under you, and then he does something that just makes you hate him forever. So yeah, that scene at the jazz club just gave me absolute chills just watching all those actors just kind of like it was just like watching them play, like watching these actors play and do their thing, right? And like, oh my god, they're just doing really crazy work here. But yeah, this was just a beautiful wrap up to this series and sets up a lot of interesting stuff going forward for sure.
Yeah. And the mom fucking stabs him. I was like,
Oh
holy
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, it takes them a little while to get to it too. Like we sit in the hospital. I'm like, you didn't attend to that
Yeah.
wound there, and then he finally does. I'm like, okay, good.
Yeah.
But like you were really putting on a poker face for a while. Like you just got stabbed in the stomach.
Man.
Yeah, crazy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like it would look like, Sophia and the psychiatrist were just kind of standing there going, what the fuck?
Yeah,
do
they're
we
like,
do
oh,
here?
shit.
Like, I know.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, and for literally stabbing him, I think those words cut even deeper, which is which really says a lot too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's just so much to get into. You want to get to some takeaways?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, I'm gonna go off takeaways with probably the moment that I and I told you this. I did say holy shit to a couple of moments. One of them was, where the mom stabs Oz.
Oh
So
yeah.
I was like, oh shit. Like, but this moment in particular that I'm about to talk about right now, I was like, fuck no, holy shit. I can't believe that happened. Like,
this was the moment he couldn't come back from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And what I'm talking about is I absolutely did not have Vic's death on my finale bingo card. Like I just didn't. It's after everything they had been together, like and done basically. And I mean, kind of, you've mentioned it throughout us recapping this series, how, Vic could potentially be like a different henchman that could, be a bigger part moving forward.
He's number 2. Yeah, he's number 2 basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just, I was just like, oh, and especially because it was, you could feel it. We were nearing the end of the finale too. So I was like, oh, nothing's gonna happen now. Like,
yeah,
we're just, we're playing out the end basically. And I have no words. Basically, I can't believe he killed Vic. Like, and just like I said, in my instant reactions, the words of Colin Farrell echoing, no one's gonna be able to like this character after episode 8 type of thing, just kept going throughout my head during this scene. And just like you said, they went there. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm gonna choke you for a second. It was fucking harrowing to watch.
Yeah, they make you really soak it in there, and it's just like, good lord, man. Like, and the fact it's always more harrowing when there's no music playing or anything like that too. Like they're not adding to it. Like it does the job on its own in just the complete silence, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah. I have no words for that scene except R.I.P. Vic, I guess, at this point. That's all we can say. And you showed me before we even started recording that there was like a missing poster.
The Penguin account or the Batman account, I'm not sure which like Twitter account they do officially for it, but they tweeted out like, hey, new poster for the finale, and it's the missing persons poster for Vic. And you're just like, wow, how fucking dare you? Yeah. Yeah,
holy shit.
It's rest in peace, Vic, man. One of the again, we talk about the 4 real leads of the show between Oz, him, Sophia and Francis. Like he's probably the one that doesn't get as much love as far as when it comes to the other three actors, of course. But man, he really killed it in this series, and yeah, I'm a little bummed that we're not going to get more of that character in the future.
Especially after like that big motivational speech he gave to Oz when Oz was like bandaging himself up in the closet type of thing. Oh.
And he just really felt like he started to come into his own, especially when he was like standing up to the other gangs too. And yeah, it just kind of felt like he had just kind of started to be like accustomed to the life he was about to be living. And right away, like Oz says, like, no, you're not really cut out for this. And I got to take you out the hard way. Yeah. Yeah, it's brutal. He's seen too much.
I mean, he did call it. Vic called it himself that he could never leave. And that was what he was kind of most worried about, was he'd get to the point where he'd seen too much and Oz would never let him leave. But oh man. Anyway.
Yeah, and again, it also goes and just shows how truly messed up Oz is as a person, because again, that one scene where he basically guilt tripped him, like, you think you have a gun to your head, but he did. And Oz knew that at the end of the day. He was just saying things to get his own way at the end of the day.
Exactly. And I mean, this just proves that, Oz will kill the people closest to him. Like, he does not give a shit. Like,
yeah, it doesn't matter who's in his way, as long
brothers
as his place. Yeah,
exactly. Like, everyone is disposable.
Should have known then. Yeah.
Holy shit. But Rico, what were some of your takeaways from the finale?
Yeah, that's just that is definitely probably the biggest what the fuck moment, I think, of the episode, for sure, just because it comes on the heels of this, like, quote unquote bonding moment between the two, and it's just like, God. And again, like I said, they pull the rug out from under you right there, and that's just a testament to the writing and the acting on the show just in general. But yeah, aside from killing Vic, which is already like the line that he couldn't cross and come back from, as far as like the approval of the fans, I would say. The fact that afterwards we get the shot of him, Penguin's won. Like, he is now the man.
Yeah.
He's got a nice new ride. He's got a nice new place in this little Flatiron building that it's got a nice little view. And he's got the top hat, the 3-piece suit. Like, he's in full Penguin garb too, which I love. Like I said, though, I wish we would have had him just put on the top hat, just give us like that full look. Even just carrying like an umbrella with him, like that same deal. But we get the Francis has the stroke at the beginning of the episode, and then afterwards, the whole, I would say, the incident that kind of leads to probably Oz making the decision to kill Vic is that moment when he discovers that she's in this like vegetative state, and he kind of breaks down right in front of Vic. I think that's something that he couldn't mentally allow to see, like someone working under him see like him in that like state of mind. So he had to take out that person that can kind of like cut off that rough edge look that he has to his other workers. So yeah, again, it's all really super messed up. But then afterwards, he goes back to the penthouse, and Francis is there, and he kept her alive, even though he promised her that he wouldn't. But after she said what she said, like, he didn't give a fuck about her anymore, basically. Even though he still yearns for his mother's approval just through the words of Eve, which another weird, demented way that he's kind of keeping his mom alive through Eve, but also keeping his mom alive for real in like her own personal hell with the devil himself, as she referred to him. So yeah, just again, it shows just how truly evil he is as a villain. They didn't make him an anti-hero or anything like that. I think that's why he had to take out Vic. Just like, you had to be like, no, he's a fucking villain, and you want to make sure that the Batman beats this dude's ass next time you see him. Like, you want to look forward to that, right? Because we enjoy the interactions from the first movie. Like, look, he's like, the way he plays off him really good. But now we see Penguin as this evil dude. And that's the great thing. But we get the shot of he's dancing with Eve in his mom's dress and stuff. She's showing the whole garb, looks just like her, which is really eerie. And then we get the cool pan out of the city with the bat signal and stuff like that, which is really cool. We were saying, like, I was really hoping to get a Gordon cameo in this, but we didn't end up getting that. We got the police chief coming back to arrest Sophia, which is great. But we also got a small brief cameo of the woman who's the mayor. The woman with the afro.
Right.
Yeah. So we got a brief look at him when Oz goes to the courthouse, I think it is. So that was really a cool little, like, blink don't miss it kind of cameo. But yeah, we get the bat signal, which I was saying, like, if we didn't get you were saying how we wanted to see Batman. I was like, just give me the signal. Like, I was like, give me the signal. We got the signal, and that was like our way to be like, yes, now we're off and running into the next one. But also Sophia being crowned or not crowned, framed for Crown Point. It was something that I was like, it popped up last second for me as something I thought would happen. But I like the way that kind of Oz played his cards there with the councilman. I thought it was going to be like Vic ratting her out as like a random citizen or something like that. But I like the way that he played that card that he did with the councilman early on. I totally forgotten about that kind of like that card that he could play because that's also what he used to get the power back up in Crown Point as well. So yeah, I like the way they kind of set that up and also kept Sophia alive too. So I'm really glad that they kind of pulled a swerve us there because we thought she was gonna die, and then boom, we get the bright white lights, and it's like, oh, okay, we can get some more of her. So that's really cool. So yeah, I really like that they did that because again, Kristen Milioti is just amazing in this role. I think she's obviously going to get some Emmy award nominations as well. So yeah, more Sofia Gigante, I think is never a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, she is the wild card that you can kind of throw in with other characters, which I can get more into with predictions, but like she is that wild card where it's always going to be an interesting interaction that you can pair her up with a bunch of different other actors and a bunch of different other characters. So I'm very interested, to see what they're planning, for her in the future. Type of thing. I'm very interested to see that. And yeah, I mean, I almost think so. That ending was so dark. After he just killed Vic out of nowhere, I was going full on dark. I thought that ending was going to end with Oz also killing Eve, who was dressed as his mother. Like, I thought that was going to be Eve's last dance too, type of thing. No pun intended, but I literally thought that was going to happen, and then it was going to like fade to credits, just to put the final nail in the coffin of this is not just a bad guy, but the worst guy. Like, I just thought that was just going to be even more on top of that. But one thing that struck me when you were talking about having his mom in the hospital bed, overlooking the penthouse window and everything. That's not even, keeping his mom alive anymore. That's him proving that he could give her everything he said when he was the little kid version of him type of thing.
The thing that inadvertently saved his life when he was younger too. Yeah.
That's not even for her benefit anymore. That was literally just for him. Yeah. Because otherwise, just like you said, he would have, done away with her. Like respected her wishes and said, like, if I can't control myself anymore, I need you to get rid of me type of thing. Like, he didn't do that. Like, he's literally doing it just to prove for himself that he could do it. Her, like, type of thing. I was like, oh my God. Like,
the tell me you're proud of me stuff. And then he has to have Eve say it to it. Yeah. It's just like, he just needs the validation for himself.
Exactly.
It's dark.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You want to get to some predictions?
Sure do.
Awesome. All right. Why don't you kick off predictions?
Okay, so this one's actually kind of a small one, but it was something that was interesting because I can see it happen. Because one, there's the character Link, who is the kind of the triad who turns on the Dilo. Right. But he's also one that punches Vic in the stomach and kind of reminds him where his place is. Like, he's the one that he's somewhat looking out for a bit, and they kind of seem like they're buddies, like the way they they're the ones communicating with each other and stuff. So it seems like they have some kind of a friendly relationship before that. But the fact that he was just willing to turn on the Dilo like that and help out Oz in that situation and pull that little switch on Sophia. I have a feeling that dude could come back in Batman too. And because he's someone that Oz probably sees as more cut out for this kind of life because obviously he's worked with the triads for all this time. And he was able to get him to turn on his own boss because it's one. He manipulates all these guys thinking like you got potential and I can help you reach that potential, and they're squandering your potential basically.
Right.
So yeah, I could totally see him coming back in the Batman too and kind of being like that, one of those big, like one being a cameo sort of from the series. Like, oh, if you watch the series and you know who that guy is, but you know that he's working under Oz and he's probably gonna get his ass kicked by the Batman at some point. So that would be pretty cool. But yeah, like I said, I have never been more excited to see Batman get his hands on Oz. I'm very curious just to see how Oz is going to play into the story of the Batman 2 now, like whatever they're going to set up. Obviously, he's running a pretty significant part of the city, I would say, with the Crown Point, and I bet he's got a lot of love there for being the person who brought the power back to the area too. So I think that's going to be an interesting dynamic as far as like how Batman is treated in that part of the city now. But this show and this whole Reeves Batman world now, like I want more shows and like I want more because Matt Reeves was saying that they want to do more character driven series like this within this world. And I'm like, oh, there's so many that you could obviously do that with. The ones that I really want to see is I want to see a Harvey Dent like Two-Face show, kind of like in the same vein, but like I almost think like a reverse Daredevil, but you're corrupting this lawyer who wants to do good, and then we get to see this guy transition into like being Two-Face, and just the whole coin aspect. I think there's a lot of really cool character things that you can deal with that character and tell a similar kind of dark story. And also I want to see an Arkham Asylum series. I think especially if we got characters like Sophia, Riddler, Joker in there right now. Like you could stay away from like the bigger characters, but having it focus on someone like a Dr. Hugo Strange, who's like a really like sadistic doctor at Arkham. We kind of had one of these doctors in the origin episode for Sophia, the one that was doing like the kind of his weird social experiments with them. But I would like to see that kind of taken up a level. Especially with a guy like Hugo Strange who can really do some really crazy work, especially if you bring in Batman into the fold with that too. So there's a lot of interesting stuff I think you can do with this world in general.
Well, what would be really cool also is Scarecrow. I mean, we definitely get something with that. Like,
Scarecrow won't be really cool, yeah.
Yeah, with connections to Arkham Asylum and everything. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can slowly build these pieces in their separate series and then lead them up to a bigger, like if they made like Arkham as like the bigger kind of series type of thing where, oh, you saw Sophia in the Penguin series. Oh, you saw Scarecrow in the Scarecrow series or whatever they call it. So, you know what I mean? And just slowly build the pieces to make Arkham and then make, all of those big like villains and stuff, make that like a Batman 3 threat type of thing after an Arkham series, but after a couple more individual character series that kind of built up to the Arkham series type of thing almost.
Yeah.
There could be multiple series.
Yeah, or even like Court of Owls, I think is another one. I've been talking about how I wanted the Court of Owls to kind of be introduced into this somehow. Like, once Oz got into power, him being like introduced to them would have been kind of cool. But like this, it's almost like, since the Penguin series kind of dealt with like the underground or, the undercity kind of like crime stuff, the underworld and all that. I would say that like, the Court of Owls can deal with like that kind of upper society wealth, kind of like weird stuff that they all, that people always talk about when it comes to weird billionaire stuff that they all do. And obviously that, so that would be a really, if you did a show that kind of did like, I'm trying to think. There's some shows on HBO that kind of do like this Succession and like the way you deal with that.
Okay.
Yeah, like I was almost thinking something like that, but like you have like this rich family dynamic and all the way that deals with it, but there's like this underground society of wealthy people, wealthy elites and stuff. I think there's some really wild. And again, nothing you can tie to Bruce and the Waynes. I think that's also why Court of Owls works so well with the Batman itself. Like you need to have Bruce and Batman in there, of course. But yeah, I would like to kind of see like this inner workings of like this upper elite society that's kind of doing weird stuff behind the scenes,
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing, I obviously I'm scrolling and looking at a bunch of people talk, like recapping and kind of talking about the finale and stuff like that. Something that I really can't remember. I always say this, and I feel really bad because I wish I could cite my sources and stuff like that. But I think it was just a random, creator on going through TikTok or something like that. They said, now Oz is going to have, not only protection from all of these other kind of smaller, drug groups, I guess, or crime groups or whatever.
Yeah, gangs.
Not only that, but he's going to have some protection from politicians also, because the politician that was a he is obviously going to, he'd be open about like, oh, he's the one who showed us like this is what happened and stuff like that. So it might even be harder for Batman to actually take down Oz. Like he's going to be a major threat, both from
Still got police contacts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough road to kind of actually, not just like beat him up, because Batman could go in and beat the shit out of him. Cool.
Oh yeah.
But to actually get him locked up and where he stays locked up type of thing is going to be harder than it would be for like the average criminal type of thing. So
Kingpin.
Exactly.
He's a kingpin now. Yeah.
Mr. Fisk. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, kind of in the same vein as you, kind of looking at the end of the episode and kind of what we got, and one other thing that we did get was Sophia. Speaking of Selena, Sophia gets a letter from Selena.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and so
that's
a
cool little thread to tie together.
Yeah, and so like when you were mentioning, like Sophia and where she's going to pop up next and stuff like that, and I was kind of thinking of different pairings. I'm really interested to see what that interaction is going to be between Selena and Sophia, because I mean, they don't know each other at all. Number one, Selena might be coming from like an innocent of, I want to reconnect with what little family I have.
Yeah, I wish they would have given us a little hint of like what the letter at least said.
Exactly.
I mean, never say they give us a hint by her reaction to it. Like, obviously, it's a letter that she enjoyed, like that she got. Like, it's not the ones that she didn't like the letter. She gets this kind of like smile of hope on her face after, as I'm like, ooh, like what's gonna start cooking here with these two? Like,
right.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to see. I'm hoping we do get an interaction from them, but like I'm interested to see in universe what that kind of interaction is going to be like. I'm very interested in that. And then the only other thing I said was we didn't, just like you said, we got the bat signal. We didn't get Batman. We didn't get Gordon. We didn't get what I mean? But we got breadcrumbs for that. We know the players that are on the field and are coming back. We obviously know, Gordon's probably the one who turned down the bat signal. So Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, I think he's the only one who knows where it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We obviously know Batman's returning and Selena because of the letter type of thing. So like we kind of are starting to get an idea of at least the main characters on the field, not the surprise characters, obviously, but the main characters on the field that we already kind of know. Penguin, Selena, Batman / Bruce Wayne, Commissioner Gordon type of thing. Like we're taking baby steps, breadcrumbs to the sequel. Like we kind of already could have assumed that, but at the same time, it's nice to have the little that's she's definitely gonna be there. Like
exactly.
So little things like that were interesting. I enjoyed having those. Like, yes, would I have liked to have seen Batman? Yeah. Or would I have liked Yeah. Or would I have liked to have seen Commissioner Gordon? Yeah, absolutely. I would have liked just give me the scene where he's lighting up the bat signal. Like, yeah.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I mean, of him physically doing
I know.
That type of thing. And kind of just maybe like standing on the rooftop next to it, waiting for Batman to jump in, and then cuts to credits because he's gonna be there. But yeah, I'm happy with the little breadcrumbs that we got, because it is, in and of itself is a tease. To connect to the movie type of thing. And
just again to remind us, because this was a very self-contained Penguin story. Like Batman's out there, and he's coming back out there. Yeah, he's got work to do.
Vengeance is coming.
Yeah,
winter is coming, and it's bringing vengeance. We got to think of taglines.
I'm just gonna take Arnold Schwarzenegger Freeze quotes. Probably Freeze is coming. Yeah, chill out. Yeah, everybody chill. Yeah, there we go.
Cool.
Yeah.
He say that too.
Nice to see you. I think we nailed it.
I think we got all.
We got back.
Look, we got all the important ones. He can be like old man Mr. Freeze, and then we can get a younger protege Mr. Freeze type of thing. We just wrote the script.
I kind of want to see Arnold do a serious Mr. Freeze now.
I mean,
I think he could do it. I think if you give him the right direction, he could definitely do it.
Get him on the phone. Let's get these talks rolling.
I'm on it.
Anyway, in the meantime, while you're working on that, and get in touch with Matt Reeves so we can get him looped in too. Anyway, while he's working on that, as we always say, that's what we think. Let us know in the comments below. Who are you hoping to see in the sequel Batman movie? And how do you think, the end of the series is going to connect to that? Are we going to, are we going to go right into it and have Batman and Penguin face off? Is there going to be, a different villain on the field, and we're just going to have Penguin being kind of this minor/major threat in the movie and kind of just as the underground type of thing? Yeah, there are no wrong answers. I am so excited. And, as always, don't forget, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to hear about all of our latest audio and video podcast releases. Bye, everybody!
Popping Off presents That Recap Show.